It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 15th day of September 2021. Tropical Depression Nicholas, Carnival guests face test expiration date dilemma, Carnival Glory and Carnival Liberty updates, another report from the MSC Virtuosa, and an interesting view of the Polynesian Cultural Center in Oahu, Hawaii. And lots more. We got some stuff from Sharon again, our friend Sharon on the Carnival Mardi Gras. And who knows what else is going to happen. So that's what we got happening here this morning. So let's get to the weather. All right. I'm sure all of you guys were following along with Tropical Depression Nicholas. It's now, it's just creeping along. It's been like moving at 3 miles an hour and stuff. Because of the dirty side of the storm, the Gulf Coast is just getting inundated with rain, heavy rains from the panhandle of Texas all the way back to almost to the Louisiana-Texas border. The absolute center of the system now maybe has just made it into Louisiana. So it's taken all that time just to crawl up from Houston. But it's dumping heavy rain all over the Gulf Coast. The depression might speed up to on an eastward direction to as much as 6 miles an hour during the day today. It's probably going to start drifting northward tomorrow. The center itself is probably not going to get through the state of Louisiana. So it's going to head north, basically up the state of Louisiana. So still on the right side of the storm, that's going to dump rain as long as this thing stays viable all over the East Coast. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, probably get some into Western Carolinas and Tennessee. Until it dissipates. Central pressure on it's still, just over 1,000. It's 1,004. So there's no chance of it strengthening anymore. It's just, we got to get rid of this thing. And of course, all that rain is in areas that needs anything but rain. All right, the one out there in the Atlantic closest to Africa is a low pressure area. It's a few hundred miles southwest of Cabo Verde Islands now. Continue to show signs of organization. Environmental conditions are expected to remain conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form within the next couple of days. The system's expected to move westward to west-northwestward across the tropical Atlantic. Formation for the next 48 hours is high, 80%. For the next 5 days, 90%. So this is definitely one we have got to watch and watch closely. Now, the one closest to the U.S. is over there still parked to the east of the Bahamas. A broad area of low pressure. It's 100 miles or so northeast of the central Bahamas, producing a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions appear marginally conducive for development. Now, could definitely become a tropical depression during the next couple of days while the system moves northwestward to northward off the southeast U.S. coast. Now, regardless of the development, this system is going to bring plenty of high surf to portions of the southeast and mid-Atlantic coasts later this week. They're saying formation for the next 48 hours is medium, about 60%. Over the next 5 days, it gets high at about 70%. The thing that's interesting about this, there's the models both of them are different. One of the models shows this sucker going almost due north up toward Massachusetts and Connecticut again. Another one shows it getting up toward the into the North Atlantic and doing a complete 360 hook around and head back aimed in toward like the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So there's all kinds of craziness on this one with what could happen. I mean, for the last couple of days, this has been parked out there east of the Bahamas, not doing much but raining. So who knows? Can't tell on this one yet. No. All right. According to our friend over at Cruiseob, Emery Thacker, when Carnival Cruise Line announced its recommended home test kit, it was set to make things a lot easier for guests to get their pre-cruise testing completed within the new 2-day time frame that the CDC threw out. However, a new expiration dilemma has caused some confusion. The cruise line recently advised guests on a home testing kit by Abbott Binax Now, making it easier for guests to complete their pre-cruise test. Cruise lines have changed their protocols for pre-cruise testing, which now must be taken within 48 hours before the cruise, as per the requirement of the CDC. Now, as expected, lots of folks have already ordered the home test through Optum Store, which costs $69.99 for a 2-pack. Lots of people are experiencing that the expiration date is only a month or so away. That's caused some concern and confusion, especially for those who have ordered multiple packs for upcoming cruises and flights in as far as 2022. Carnival ambassador John Heald said that, and I quote, "Some people have apparently been ordering home tests for cruises later on this year and have discovered that they expire before the cruise date. Now, if you order your test a month or so before your cruise, then you're going to be fine. However, I felt it best that I pass along, if you are using a home test, that if you're ordering a test now for something like December, there's a chance the test might expire," end quote. With the growing concern for the expiration date, the Optum Store now includes a warning which says, due to nationwide test supply shortage, the test you receive may expire by December 15, 2021. And some are set to expire still before that date. The store has also updated its delivery time. Previously, the home test would be shipped the same day. Now it could take up to 3 business days for delivery. So, some confusion on that. The good news is that Abbott Binax Now home test has been approved for an extension to the expiration by the FDA, providing some hope for the Carnival guests who have purchased some of these home tests that have expired or are going to expire before their cruise. A letter from Optum Store says currently the ones we have right now expire October 21, but that per FDA, they have been granted an expiration extension of 3 months, so they're good till January of 2022. So that's a help. A letter has also been published that concerns Binax Now Ag Card expiration. It's due to continued testing on the stability of the product to extend the expiration date. The results have been shared with the FDA with an expiration date of up to 12 months. It's important to check with the store if there are concerns about the expiration to ensure the test can be used for an upcoming Carnival cruise. And folks, this is on your, you got to do this. The cruise line's not going to do it. they've provided this information, and basically they're backing off, saying you still got to have it within 2 days. So you got to make sure you got the test that's within 2 days. So anyway, Abbott Binex Now test is combined with eMed telehealth service, which means a certified guide, that's a proctor, will guide a person through the test via video using the NAVCA app. The result will be available in 15 minutes, so they say, if you can get an English-speaking proctor, which has been problems for some people. Royal Caribbean, they have their own system. They're also suggesting a home test, but have gone one step further by selling its own through the Optum store just for its guests. There's also been an update for that product when it comes to the expiration date and delivery. So they're trying to keep from having the same problem that Royal Caribbean has had. So meanwhile, that was the Carnival Glory. The Carnival Glory is finally going to sail this weekend. It's been used here the last couple of weeks, housing folks down there in New Orleans that are in town working on restoring power and all that business from Ida. So it's going to finally go in service this weekend, sail Saturday, finally, with paid passengers on board. And Carnival Liberty is the other one that we've got an update on today. It's gone into dry dock in Cadiz, Spain, to get its new paint job. So Carnival Liberty is going to have the new livery as well when it comes out of dry dock and gets back over here in the States. So, all right. This was our friend Emma Watts, who made a report to the cruise addict community. And one of the questions that she was asked was, we didn't see any hazmat suits at all on the Virtuosa. She was on the Virtuosa this past week, the week that apparently a lot of people have been following. And it seems that the 2 weeks were really bad, and apparently now MSC changed, so this past week things were a lot better. So here's what Emma said, and it's definitely different than what we've been hearing from all the other folks about the Virtuoso prior to that. They didn't see any hazmat suits this week at all. The buffet reverted to being served by the crew. Cleaning was increased. They were very hot on mask wearing. Social distancing was put back in place, a little more relaxed than it was in May, but still back in place at much the same as any bar or restaurant in the UK. Yes, there were cases on board on previous cruises. She admitted that she had found that much out. Last week's sailing, the sailing that just got in yesterday, they sailed with 3,400 guests, and the ship is a 6,334 maximum capacity. One of the drawbacks that was reported by Emma Watts, of course, of Cruise Addicts, check-in was a bit of a shambles. They were teething problems for sure with the new terminal, and with added COVID requirements, it took 3 hours to get on board. Our check-in was at 10:20 in the morning. We boarded at 13:10, with some passengers still trying to board after 6 p.m. So that needs addressing for sure. Food and entertainment were fantastic, according to Emma, with a new acrobatic style show in the Carousel Lounge. Highly recommend you pre-book it before you board, as it's cheaper than on board. Due to positive COVID cases on board during the previous cruises, this had resulted in many staff being isolated due to track and trace. Now, this is one thing. One of the complaints was that they were shorthanded. I didn't realize that they were, it appeared that they were shorthanded because they didn't have enough staff on board. I didn't consider the fact that some of that staff was probably quarantined because they had come in contact with people that tested positive. So that also added to some of the long queues in certain food areas. And of course, him and her husband are early bird risers, so they're up early and they didn't have the trouble with breakfast, at least. It was her son's birthday while they were on board, so they did sushi specialty dining a couple times because that's his favorite, and it was superb. The rest of the time they ate in the main dining room, and the food was hot and tasty, and her server, Penny, was a joy. A real credit to the company. Daily temperature tests, hand washing stations, and gel spray at dining rooms, plus hand gel all around the ship. Limited capacity to foreign lifts also. However, there was always a minority who want to be rule breakers and not wear masks, and sometimes being abusive to staff when asked, and crowd the lifts at other times. I witnessed 2 separate incidents of crew being screamed at after asking the same man to wear his mask. So that's from our buddy Emma Watts on the MSC Virtuoso from the good cruise. This last 4-day cruise, I think it was 4 days, 4 nights, was good. The 2 weeks prior to that were not good. So we've talked about that quite a bit. I have been in contact with several more of the people that were on board one or the other of the bad cruises, and we'll probably put together some collaborative piece to deal with that. So now, moving right along, that is the Polynesia Cultural Center from our buddy Cindy. I'm going to read you what she said, and then we're going to tip some of my technical skills, which are a little lacking, but I'm going to try something else again today. Cindy said that yesterday was another packed long day. They drove to the north side of the island near Laie, Hawaii. Took over an hour to make the trip. Hawaii is known for being laid back. The speed limit was 35 miles an hour and 45 miles an hour on the interstate. Very curvy roads and many times 2 lanes with no passing. Visited the Polynesia Culture Center. The center consists of 6 different islands: Hawaii, Tonga, Samoa, Aotearoa, which is also known as New Zealand, Fiji, and Tahiti. We chose to do the self-paced tour, which runs from 12:45 to 5:30. The center has 4 different packages, with the center open from 12:45 to 9 p.m. We felt we could only handle 4 to 5 hours. Each section had several very informative programs, from a brief history of the culture and dances of tribes, cooking demonstrations, to native dress. You could taste poi and coconut bread. So that's what our friend said from over there in Hawaii, Cindy Davis Weatherall. Of course, she's from Dallas. Now, I'm going to try something, folks. And sometimes my technical skills suck. But we're going to see if I can do this right. I think I go here, here, and here, and this, and which one? I think it's that one. Let's try it and see. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So I got to stop that. Okay, I'm going to try that one. Honest, one more time. That's what I want to do. So I got to how do I get that live? I'm aggravated now how I do this. Share screen. Share screen. Chrome tab. Second one. No. Well, pafooey. All right, folks. I'm failing miserably on this one. Try it one more time, and then I'm going to give away because I hate having dead air like this while I'm flailing around trying to do something technical. So we'll try one more time and see if I can get to the right place. We'll do that one. And that's still wrong. Maybe I can find it from there. So if I'm here and go look, I'm totally lost on why I can't come up with what I want up. So that was, if I'm here, let's try going to Cindy. Now let's see if this works out properly, folks. I think I might be getting there with what I want to do. Maybe see if that brings up what I want, and that brings up, and to see if that goes to the full screen, and it does. Wow. Okay, so let's get me out of that so we got a little bit bigger picture. Do that. And now, that is the center. And where is... Well, I'm not getting the... So I'm going to have to do that from over here. All right. So that's the guy in the front. I'm sorry I don't have it full screen, folks. I'm gonna have to watch this as I go. That's the welcome to the center. They took a canoe ride throughout part of the park. And that's another shot of the canoe ride that they were on. That's Tonga, one of the areas that she mentioned in her little thing. And it shows you where Tonga is in the Pacific. Now, I know you guys can't hear this, but I can. So I'm just showing you a little bit of that. I hope you guys can hear me still and not hear that. That's at least what it seemed like this morning when I was testing this. Aotearoa, that is New Zealand. And they had some folks up there demonstrating the poi balls. So the Tahiti area, which had coconut bread. So that takes care of that. So let me see how I do this. I stop this and I come back here. And if all goes well, folks, we're back live. So, hi. I still don't know what my technical skills, what I do wrong on getting that up every time. But anyway, that was Cindy. All right. Our buddy Sharon was on the Mardi Gras yesterday in San Juan, and it was hot in San Juan. And as you see, she had to wear a mask. It's required in Puerto Rico outdoors that you be masked. And it's $100 fine if they catch you unmasked. And I think it was like 102 degrees there yesterday. And everybody off the boat had to be masked up that went ashore in Puerto Rico. I'm really looking forward to talking to Sharon when we get a chance to chat when she gets back home on this whole cruise, because she had some just lovely photographs from San Juan from her visit there, and she's had a bunch more from the cruise ship itself. That, of course, is the fort at Old San Juan. This was the Chris Williams, who is the cruise director for Carnival. He'll be on the Mardi Gras for one more week, and then he goes back to he goes home, and then he'll come back on one of the Carnival ships. I don't know if he's coming back to the Mardi Gras or not. That's another one we're going to have to ask her. So anyway, she just posted some more pictures. If I can do this right, I'll share you those pictures with you straight off the giddy up. I got to know I have to get off of that. Let's see if I screw this up, I won't even ever try it again. I promise you. So we're going to do that and try to do this right this time. And that's going to be this one, I think. Yes. Okay. Yes, that's got a picture. So that was a shot from on board the Mardi Gras, looking forward on the Mardi Gras, and that's the Norwegian sky. Look how much smaller that looks to the Mardi Gras from where Sharon is. That was amazing. And that's in the Serenity area. That's the water slides. Of course, I'll have to ask her if she got, after that 102 degrees with the mask for the day, if she came and got in the pool and cooled off. That's, of course, the roller coaster. We showed you some roller coaster stuff. Not sure what that one is. And that's the golf course. I know what that one is. So got a few things. Got a few things to ask Sharon. That's the entry on the bolt. She did say that the bolt was $15, and she wrote it, and she said it's well worth it. That's the ropes course. And there she is with that looks like a coffee instead of a cool drink. So this had to be after the trip to San Juan when it was so hot. All right, I think I'm back to normal again. So that's going to wrap me up as far as the news goes. So let's go see who's in the chat room and who's fussing at me and if I did all that terribly right. Gretchen's with us. She says a cold snap here, one day only, 68 and overcast. We had a couple nights that it was awful here. Yesterday it got up to 96 degrees, but the pool is still cold. So it's probably going to be time to close down the pool, unfortunately. It's not heated, folks. And no, I don't want to spend $5 or $6 grand to put a heating unit in and then have to keep that up. So Carol's with us. John's with us. He says, I'm tropically depressed. Of course, John's hoping to go to Europe, and it's looking less and less likely. Sonny says, hi, getting rain here today. Yeah, Sonny, that just looks awful down there. Kenneth Tisniski. Hi, Chillie, great show. It's raining here too. Kenneth, if you're still on board, where are you from? I don't know where you're from. So maybe you told us later on as we go through this, but welcome aboard. Nikki's with us down there in Jacksonville. Northern PA. He's in northern Pennsylvania. Okay. They're getting some rain up there today too. Cindy says hi from the Tampa area. Nikki says Erie, Bradford. Yeah, there's a bunch of folks that have connections with Pennsylvania. We've got, of course, Jason from Pittsburgh. He's here. We've got Jason from Pittsburgh, and we've got me. I lived in Pittsburgh for like 20 years. So, but anyway, welcome aboard, Kenneth. Jason, I sailed on the Panorama in Laie before the pandemic. Gretchen sailed out of San Pedro, LA. Cindy says Tampa is so convenient for us, but Port Canaveral isn't too far, and Miami is an easy drive. I wish I had that. I was that simple for me to get on a cruise ship. Jason's also sailed Paradise out of Tampa. That was one that I had canceled that I was going to do last year. Gretchen says, Princess told me yesterday they were unveiling a California coastal with an overnight in Cabo, September 16th. Sounds interesting. They were ditching on Ensenada, Gretchen says. Those hazmat suits from Jim Walker are probably fake. It wouldn't surprise me in the least. And at least that we'll ask that when I get some of the guys who were on one of the bad cruises. I wouldn't be at all surprised, Jason. You know my thoughts on him to start with. But at least this past week, they weren't there. But apparently, MSC has changed the protocols much closer to the way it was originally than the way it is now. Jack's with us from Conroe, Texas, 75 degrees and cloudy. You had all the rain yesterday, and it finally cleared out of the greater Houston area this morning. Gretchen says, I'm not scared of hazmat, laugh out loud. Now I think I get it. You were talking west coast of Florida. Joke's on me. Never mind. People who give the crew, Cindy says, people who give the crew a hassle regarding masks makes me so angry, just like the idiots that give grocery store workers a hard time. Totally agree. And last weekend, John, my Cruise Amigo John, who's I don't know if he's still in the audience or not, gave us a reason why he does not sell Carnival, and it has nothing to do with Carnival. It has to do with some of the people that go on Carnival cruises that seem to act like they're entitled to the world, and they book the cheapest cruise they could find. And John had found a lot of those type of people that made him very uncomfortable because they were being unkind to the staff from that entitled atmosphere. Sharon said much the same thing about the Mardi Gras that, again, we'll talk to her about when we can get a good chance to discuss it, that there were, she called them the 5%ers on the Mardi Gras crew were not kids, but young adult kids, 20 to 25 years old, that tried to completely ignore masking, social distancing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that she thinks that Carnival needs to do something about that. And the people that are really at the biggest risk, which are senior citizens, obviously, and are, anywhere from 30 up, let's put it that way, are at more risk than the supposedly the 20, 25 years old, that something needs to be done about them. So there's some tie-ins there to even John's position on Royal Caribbean, very similar. Emily's with us up in New York. Hi, Emily. Cindy says, are people from outside the U.S. resistant to masks? From what I've read, people from other countries are more compliant. Much more. And again, some people, a small percentage, from what I'm gathering, even on the good cruise of Virtuoso, from what I'm gathering, the good guys, the good cruise, there was still like 5% that tried to get by with masking and getting by with everything they could. So, Emily reports back that her sister had to throw out her couch from the basement because the bottom of it had too much water. Sorry about that. So, anyway, let's see what else we got. Some more chat just popped up. Gretchen says you can keep any of that stuff. It'll stink and get moldy. You can't keep any of that stuff. Yep. Gretchen's been through it before. We usually leave from Fort Lauderdale or Miami. We've sailed out of San Francisco, San Pedro, and Long Beach on the West Coast. Glad they picked up the flood trash, Nikki says. I like his outfit. Me too. Anti-maskers. Grrr, good grief. It's only a mask. Chillie flailing around like a beached whale. Yeah, that's the case. Where's Tom? I don't know. Hobble along, Tom, probably asleep. Boy, I tell you what, folks. Tom sent me pictures of his foot. I would not even think about loading it up and putting it on the program today. Oh my God, his foot looks awful. It looks so painful. And he says it's not. It was worse before, but it looks terrible. Sonny says a mask outside in 100-degree would be hard. Wouldn't be able to stay off the ship very long. Yeah, there's a picture which I will when I get to Sharon. When we get together, there's a picture of her. Obviously, it was either still on, on land in San Juan, or just when she first got off the ship. She had a big bottle of Gatorade, and her face looks so totally just worn out from the heat and with the mask, and she's all, of course, her face is all red and stuff. So I'm definitely we'll show that picture when we do a live stream with her. Gretchen says she hates 102 degrees with a mask. Waterford, Pennsylvania, Kenneth is from. I know where Waterford is. Been there before, matter of fact. It's been humid here the past couple of days. Yeah, I bet. We're booked to go on Norwegian Dawn in February. Hope they don't cancel. Yeah, we've had some people that just recently had cancellations, but they've got 5 ships sailing, 6 ships soon. So I'm hoping that we're heading in the right direction on this, and we're not going to have any major upheavals again. I'm just scared. And I've said this before on this show. I'm scared to death about what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks because of the football season. Because you see so many people that are not masking, they're not having vaccines required, and big globs of people at football games. Yes, it's outdoors, but people screaming and yelling, and that's, I think, could be big time spreaders. But hopefully it doesn't happen. Jason's not everyone that sells Carnival is ignorant, though. Yeah, well, obviously, Jason, you and I both have sold Carnival more than anything else. But I see John's position, and I know what he's talking to, and I have seen it to a degree. And Sharon saw much the same thing with a small majority on the Mardi Gras. And the same thing, reports were coming from Europe on the Virtuoso, the small percentage of people that are just, excuse my French, folks, jackasses. So, those kind of people on all cruises, you're absolutely correct. Isn't Carnival ships meant to be a party ships? Well, yes and no, but more of a party ship than other ships, but they still got the protocols that they have to follow, and they still have to keep the people safe. So, and just like the Mardi Gras, the fourth day of the cruise, they had, probably because of some outbreaks on board, they had to cramp down on people on the ship. So, Jason says he saw an unvaccinated couple on an elevator on the Equinox. And you see, you have somebody that's unvaccinated, that could run, and they didn't have masks on, Jason says. That causes risk for everybody else. So, Gretchen says, please, no toes. Yes. And Emily, yeah, I'm following, Don and Lalita Loca in Alaska. Again, I don't follow Don as much as I do Tony, but yes, I'm keeping up with their stuff. No, I've got a Princess in December, vaccine required. Oh, and Kenneth says, is Norwegian Cruise Line the only cruise line that says you have to be fully vaccinated before going on board? Not anymore. Now they're everybody currently, I think, because of the latest requirements from this, not required from the CDC, but they've pretty much sided with the CDC. Everybody is watching and going with at least 95% vaccinated or totally vaccinated, with the exception being the kids that can't be vaccinated. But there have been, Norwegian wasn't taking any kids at all, where Carnival and Royal Caribbean still were taking some kids. By that, I mean less than 12 and under. But everybody else is required to be vaccinated now. So, Sonny says, watching the football games, I was wondering why stadiums are full and no masks. Thought I went to sleep and missed the next year or something. Quite. Oh, I like them. Yeah, I agree. I just, I saw that from the first weekend of football season. I thought, oh, God, here we go again. This is going to kill us. So, if it's going to cause a lot worse spikes than we're seeing already, it'll be next week from the first, if there were super spreader events from the first round of football. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Goodness gracious, I've taken almost 45 minutes and I got to go to therapy. So I will see everybody back here, same place tomorrow. As always, appreciate thumbs up, guys. That always helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification for when I go live or post videos or whatever. And I'll see everybody back here at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Thursday for the Thursday Travel and Cruise Industry News. This is the old fat travel guy. See you guys tomorrow. Later, y'all. I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.